Run your tongue along the back of your teeth right now. Feel how they sit. Maybe they're straight, maybe they're a little crowded, maybe you wore braces for 2 years to make them line up like that. And your wisdom teeth? There's a good chance a surgeon already cut them out of your skull. Stitches, swelling, a weekend of ice packs and soft food. Here's the strange part. For more than 300,000 years, almost none of your ancestors needed any of that. No braces, no retainers, no wisdom teeth surgery. They had straight teeth, room to spare, a full set of 32, all on their own. So what changed? The answer isn't bad luck. It isn't your parents' genes. It's sitting in your kitchen right now. And it quietly reshaped the human face in just 1,000 years, fast enough that it's still happening to you. Let's start with the skulls. Daniel Lieberman is an evolutionary biologist at Harvard. He works in a building full of human skulls, thousands of them, from all over the world, across thousands of years. And after looking at enough of them, he noticed something. The recent skulls, the ones from the last few centuries, are a horror show. Cavities, infections, teeth jammed in crooked. About 1 in 4 of them has a tooth trapped down in the bone that never managed to come out. Go back further to pre-industrial farmers, and those impacted teeth almost disappear, fewer than 1 in 20. Go back further still to hunter-gatherers, and the mouths are nearly perfect. Straight teeth, full, smooth arches, wisdom teeth that came in clean and lined up like they were supposed to. In the Stone Age, an orthodontist would have starved. There was nothing to fix. And this isn't just one scientist's impression. Researchers took 146 medieval skulls from old Norwegian graveyards, and they compared them to modern skulls. They scored each mouth the way an orthodontist would today. How badly would this person need treatment? In the medieval group, about a third were in clear need of it. In the modern group, 2/3. In a few hundred years, the rate of seriously crooked teeth roughly doubled. Now think about that timeline. A few hundred years. That is nothing in evolutionary terms. That is the blink of an eye. It is nowhere near enough time for our genes to have changed. So if it isn't genetic, what is it? For a long time, the assumption was simple. Bad teeth run in families. You got your mother's small jaw and your father's big teeth. The two didn't fit, and that was just your bad genetic hand. Nothing to be done. In 1984, an anthropologist named Robert Corrucini took that idea apart. He had been studying populations all over the world, and he kept seeing the same thing. When a group left its traditional way of eating and moved towards a modern, urban, processed diet, crooked teeth exploded. Not over centuries, within a single generation. One of his clearest examples was a rural community in Kentucky. The older adults there had grown up on coarse, homegrown food, and their teeth were well aligned. Their own children and grandchildren, same families, same gene pool, now eating softer, store-bought, modern food, had visibly worse bites. Same genes, different food, different faces. Corrucini gave it a name. He called crooked teeth malocclusion, the technical term for a bad bite, a disease of civilization. He argued the cause wasn't hiding in our DNA at all. It was environmental. It was something we were doing to ourselves. And the thing we were doing turned out to be something you'd never suspect. We stopped chewing. Here's the piece almost nobody understands about their own body. Bone is not a fixed casting. It's not like a plastic skeleton in a classroom, the same shape no matter what. Bone is alive. It is constantly being torn down and rebuilt, and it responds to how hard you use it. Stress a bone, and it grows stronger and bigger to handle the load. Stop stressing it, and your body quietly takes the material back. This is why astronauts lose bone in zero gravity. There's no load, so the body stops paying to maintain it. Your jaw is bone, and the load on your jaw is chewing. For almost all of human history, eating was work. Raw vegetables, tough, fibrous plants, meat you had to tear, wild food that fought back. A hunter-gatherer's jaw worked for hours every single day, and all that strain sent the same signal over and over while the face was still growing. Build. Make this bigger, make it stronger. And it did. The jaw grew long and wide and roomy, with enough space for every tooth, including all 4 wisdom teeth to come in straight. Now picture your own day. A smoothie, soft bread, pasta, yogurt, things you can practically swallow whole. The single hardest thing most people chew in a week is maybe a piece of steak or a raw carrot. Your jaw growing up got almost none of that signal, so it did exactly what bone does when you stop using it. It stopped growing. It came out smaller. But here's the cruel twist in the machinery. Your teeth didn't get the memo. The size and number of your teeth are under tight genetic control. They are largely fixed. So you end up with a full set of ancestral teeth built for a big, hard-working jaw, crammed into a smaller, softer modern one. The teeth didn't change, the container shrank. And when 32 teeth try to fit into a space built for 28, you get exactly what you'd expect. Crowding, overlap, teeth twisting sideways looking for room. And at the very back, the wisdom teeth, last to arrive. No space left for them, get trapped into the bone. Impacted, pulled. That's not a malfunction, that's a math problem. Big teeth, small jaw, no room. If this were just a story about one scientist's hunch, you'd be right to be skeptical. So let me show you the experiment that turned this hunch into something close to proof. In 2004, Daniel Lieberman, the same Harvard scientist with the skulls, ran a study on an animal called the rock hyrax. It's a small, furry mammal, and its skull is useful here because it grows in a way that has real parallels to ours. He split the animals into two groups. One group got their food raw and dried, tough, the way you'd have to chew it in the wild. The other group got the exact same food, but cooked soft. Same nutrition, same calories. The only difference was how hard they had to chew. The animals on the soft, cooked food grew faces about 10% smaller in the regions that do the most work during chewing. Same animals, same food. The only variable was the effort, and that effort alone changed the shape of the skull. Less chewing, less strain, less face. And this result isn't a fluke of one weird mammal. Versions of this experiment have been run on pigs, rodents, and primates. Feed a growing animal soft food, and over, you get a smaller, weaker, more crowded jaw. We have, in effect, been running the exact same experiment on ourselves for 10,000 years. Now here's where people usually jump to the wrong villain. They blame cooking. They blame fire. But that's not it, and the skulls prove it. Hunter-gatherers cooked their food too. They had fire for hundreds of thousands of years, and they still had beautiful, roomy jaws. The villain isn't heat, it's softness. It started with farming. When humans began growing grain, we started eating porridge, gruel, soft breads, boiled cereals, food that took a fraction of the chewing. When scientists mapped jaw shape across populations all over the world, they found a clean split. The people descended from foragers had longer, narrower jaws, and the people descended from farmers had shorter, broader ones. Around the entire planet, the jaw was tracking the diet, not the bloodline, the food. And then the modern world poured gasoline on it. Refined flour, ultra-processed food engineered to dissolve in your mouth, meals you barely have to touch with your teeth. By some estimates, impacted wisdom teeth became roughly 10 times more common after the Industrial Revolution. Today, the American Association of Oral and Maxillofacial Surgeons estimates that around 9 out of 10 people have at least one wisdom tooth that can't come in properly. 9 out of 10, for a set of teeth that for most of human history fit just fine. So that's the story of the crooked smile and the surgery that you don't remember. But there's a part of this that goes deeper than teeth. And this is the part that should actually make you sit up. Because the jaw doesn't just hold your teeth, the jaw and the face it's attached to also shape the space you breathe through. The airway runs right behind everything we've been talking about. And a smaller, narrower, more pushed back jaw means a smaller, narrower airway. A growing number of researchers, including a Stanford team that spent years on this, argue that the same shrinking that crowds your teeth is also crowding your airway. And they think it's helping drive one of the strangest modern epidemics of all, the explosion in chronic mouth breathing, snoring, and obstructive sleep apnea, where the airway collapses over and over while you sleep and your body jolts itself awake to breathe, all night without you ever knowing. I want to be careful here, because this is the part that's still being worked out. It's an active argument, not a closed case, but the logic is hard to ignore. We didn't just trade straight teeth for crooked ones. We may have traded away part of our ability to breathe easily through the night. The same soft food, the same underbuilt face, a different, quieter cost. So the next time you catch yourself in the mirror, or you're sitting in a waiting room before the dentist scrapes at your teeth, or a surgeon gets ready to take out the wisdom teeth your mouth had no space for, remember what you're actually looking at. You're not looking at bad genes. You're not looking at bad luck. You're looking at a face that grew up in a world it wasn't built for. A jaw that was waiting all through childhood for work that never came in. An ancient blueprint for a big, strong, roomy mouth, quietly overruled by soft bread and smoothies and food that asks nothing of you. For 300,000 years, every one of your ancestors chewed their way into a full, straight, effortless set of teeth and breathed easy through the dark. They never met an orthodontist. They never needed one. We traded all of that for food we barely have to chew. And most of us never even knew our own faces were supposed to be a different shape.